I'm Dave, and this is Logan, out once again for a walk in the New Forest. Thanks for joining us. Now today we're at a place called Andrews Mare on the Stony Cross Plain. It's about a mile or so to the west of Minstead in the New Forest. And we're going to be doing roughly a 4-mile circular route that's going to take us west to Mogshade Hill and then back east to Hart Hill. Some wonderful heathland, really great woodland, going to see some wonderful oaks, that's for sure, and who knows what else we might see along the way, so do join us. Now you can probably hear a very busy road in the background. That's the A31, which is the main carriageway that goes through the forest. Don't worry, we'll be getting away from that quite soon. It's the 1st of June. It's a beautiful sunny morning already. It's going to be about 24 degrees today. And this is our 40th New Forest video walk together, so we're looking forward to it. Well, you can probably see behind me a lake. Let me tell you about that now. Well, I've parked the car at the Andrews Mare Forestry Commission car park, and I've only had to walk 100-150 yards or so west and come across this magnificent lake. Let me show it to you. Isn't that wonderful? And this is called Foxhills Lake, and it's actually man-made. Formed over 60 years ago. In fact, it doesn't appear on an old map before 1947. I think it was primarily done for a model boat club. The Southampton model powerboat club has 60 members and they still use it most Sundays today. And it is very popular in the summer for folk to come and relax by. Oh gosh, I've just noticed some little tadpoles swimming about. I don't know if that's going to come across in the camera or not. I'll see if I can take some photos. Oh yeah, look, there's loads over there. Okay, so we are now going to make our way westwards over some lovely heathland. There are signs about just warning us about ground nesting birds. It's that time of year, so I'm going to keep Logan on a lead just for a little bit. There will be some opportunities for him to have a charge later on. Well, just come off the path for a second. I'm going to do a little detour into a little bit of woodland called Lucas Castle. I don't think there ever was a castle here in the past. Certainly wouldn't be a good place to put one. The reason I want to show you, in here there are some wonderful oak trees. I hope it's not too dark when we're in here. There's a couple side by side here, as you can see. Wonderful old ladies. But there's one I want to show you in particular, which I think is in the centre. So let's see if we can find it. And this is what I was looking for. This wonderful old lady is one of the, I'd say, top 20 oak trees in the New Forest. And this one's called the Withybed Oak, and it's probably about 6 meters in girth, I should imagine. See if I can get round without tripping up and holding onto a whippet at the same time. I love these old trees. I don't know how many years old that will be. 300 or 400 at least, I should think, and it could tell a few stories. I always have a great deal of respect for something that's been on the planet for as long as that. Oh, it's quite beautiful in here. A little New Forest pony right in the far distance. Lovely place to get out of the hot sun. One of the great things about this particular walk is you will get some quite stunning heathland views, some of the best in the forest, I think. And we'll just pan round and show you. That's our friend the A31 in the very far distance there, and this is looking west. Isn't that quite stunning? and there in the far distance is Mogshade Hill, which we're going to head up to shortly. Of course, all the deciduous trees now in full greenery, as it were. Right, and we shall kick on. Well, I'm glad I'm not on the A31 this morning. Traffic almost at a standstill there, and I've heard at least 4 or 5 sirens, 3 ambulances. Obviously a major incident going on there today. Anyway, less of that, we don't want to see that. So we're nearly at the top of Mogshade Hill, quite exposed up here. And this area suffered quite a bit in the great storms of 87 and 1990, and there was a lot of replanting of Corsican pine, certainly in the last 10 years or so. We've just reached the top of Mogshade Hill, and just before we start heading back east, I want to let you in on a little secret. Follow me. So I've just a little detour to some woods, and look at this lovely little secluded pond. I say a secret because it doesn't appear on any old maps, and in fact, you know, I've got I use an Ordnance Survey map that's got copyright 2002 on it, so it's got to be 18 years old at least, and this pond doesn't appear on there, but I think it appears on the up-to-date maps. But isn't that beautiful with the lilies and the reeds, and I can just see a duck with its little ducklings in the far distance. Oh, it is quite idyllic with the sunshine making its way through the trees surrounding it, and the birds twittering away. It looks like its own little bit of heaven here. Oh, I've just spotted a burr or burl attached to that silver birch there. They don't look very pretty, but they're usually formed over a wound which heals and then protects the tree from further damage, and it doesn't usually harm the tree, but often it can be valuable as the erratic growth of the plant tissue results often in unusually patterned wood that can then be beautifully worked carefully. Probably more so on something like an oak tree, but there we go. Wow. We're just about to cross the Highland Water again over a bridge, and another lovely old lady of the forest with an oak tree. That's got to be 5.5 meters at least. Beautiful. It's almost got a little face poking out of it, hasn't it? Do you see an eye and a nose? Or maybe I'm just seeing things. Right, we need to kick on. It's lovely and cool now under the shade of the trees, mixture of holly and oak, and a nice little bridge to cross. I'm guessing that this gets quite deep and quite a substantial stream in the winter, but having had such a dry April and May, no surprise that it's not flowing that fast at the moment. Wow, look at this oak tree over here. someone's enjoying a good scratch on it. But look, now that's what I call a survivor. It's obviously been blown down in a storm, but enough of its roots survived, and it's still managed to carry on growing on its side. Looks a bit like a Roman enjoying a feast, as they do often, or they did, lying out on their whatever they were called. But isn't that marvellous? And a good scratching place as well. Oh, and you're scratching your bottom over there. Oh, does that really must feel good. Just get that. Reminds me of the Jungle Book and Baloo the bear when he was scratching against the tree. Oh, I'm glad to see these trees are serving a good purpose. But yeah, hats off to that tree for survival. Now, I know I've been going on all about these oak trees a lot, but there's some impressive beech trees as well, and that's been pollarded as well by the looks of things, the way all the branches are suddenly appearing about 1.5 meters above the ground. I reckon that's quite an old one as well. Right, now if you're doing this walk, and if you wanted to add another, say, 2-mile loop, then you can carry on and head north, and there's a couple of enclosures. The one on the left is Puckpitt's enclosure, which, well, that was first enclosed in the 1700s and then thrown open again and then re-enclosed in 1868. But the lower slopes were planted with conifers in 1868, so some of the oldest conifers in the forest are here, apart from those obviously that are in the ornamental avenues, which are it's south from here. And on the right hand side, that's the Highland Water enclosure, mainly conifers dating from the 1930s and 1940s, but a fair bit's being harvested now. But so we're not going to do that loop. It's a warm day, and I think you know, 4 miles will be enough for us today. Now I'm right by the edge of Stonard Wood, which is at the top of a ridge, and come across another pony pound. We've come across a few of those on our travels across the New Forest. I pan round and show you. There we go. And quite a large one as well. And well, you can see, perfect place to have it. You would round the ponies up along the side of the hill and the bank here, and then corral them. We've got rustic fencing on one side, and then, as you can see, the gates that the ponies can go into to allow the once a year checking and what have you, and the ones that are going to be taken off the forest can be removed safely. And as I've said before, they're deliberately designed to be of a rustic nature, as natural as possible, so that it doesn't cause or cuts down on the stress anyway for what are effectively semi-feral animals. We're now probably our most easterly part of the walk, a place called Hart Hill, quite high up, and you can always tell we're high up when you come across a trig point. And for fans of those that want to know, it's number SU255113. At the bottom there it's got OSBM S2714 I think OSBM stands for Ordnance Survey Benchmark. But I'm guessing that when it was originally put there, these trees weren't here, because you'd never see the next trig point from here. Anyway, there's a lovely view I want to show you just down this track. We're now at the top of Hart Hill, where I'm going to show you some beautiful views in a second. Before I do, a good place to sit and rest. A few memorials to members of the Burnett family, it looks like there. But from here, wow, some quite glorious views looking south. Isn't that stunning? Beautiful blue sky, not a cloud about. Oh, I'll tell you, this makes up for all those winter walks that we did with gloves and mud and rain. Absolutely stunning. I struggle sometimes to put these views and pictures into words. Right, we need to keep on. Actually no, I think we'll have a little rest by on this seat for a bit and have some water. Well, we're now on the homeward leg, and I'm going to pass something, or go follow a track called Murray's Passage. I'll tell you a bit more about Murray and a bit more about his passage shortly, but just show you where we're going. Basically heading down into a valley, and this is called Withybed Bottom. You get a lot of place names in the forest called something bottom, and that usually is the bottom of a boggy valley. Well, we just crossed a little brook at the bottom of the valley, the stream that eventually goes into the Highland water. Now, I mentioned we're on a track called Murray's Passage. Murray was an admiral, and he died in 1901 in a hunting accident just in Puckpitt's enclosure to my right. His horse basically tripped up on a mole track. He fell off the horse and sadly he broke his neck. But his friends decided a fitting memorial would be to create this safe, hard track that crosses the valley, and well, they called it Murray's Passage. And in fact there's a memorial stone just next to me here. Unfortunately it's very difficult to actually make out what's written on there. Can you see, Logan? I can make out hunting and admiral, but that's about it. Okay, so that was Murray's Passage. So all we've got to do now is just head up here, and the car park is just at the top of the ridge. Well folks, we've come to the end of our walk. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and like, and do make a comment. And if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe. That way hopefully you'll be able to join us for another walk sometime in the future. We've had a lovely walk today. You look a bit precarious up there, fella. But he's been a good boy. A glorious day as well. So until we meet again, thanks for watching, and cheerio.